What's going on, guys? It's PokePond back with another video for you. Got so much to talk about today. We got a 40-minute video of price analysis, news. We're tracking everything sealed across all of Sword and Shield. We're seeing lots of price movements all over the place. It's going to be a great episode. Make sure you subscribe down below, especially if you're new to the channel. We track all of the prices of sealed so that you don't have to. We make all these recommendations for you. Make sure you never miss an opportunity. Let's get into it. Okay, we got a lot to talk about today. As you can see, I've got so many tabs open, it doesn't even show what's on each tab yet. There's just so much going on in the hobby right now. It's an exciting time to be in the hobby, either as a collector or a sealed investor or a bit of both, like in my case. We've got so many new sets coming out. We've got so much going on. Let's just cover the news very quickly. We've got Stellar Crown. We've got a little bit more of a look at Stellar Crown. Look, I spelled it wrong there. That's my bad. Yeah, so September 13th, 6 weeks away until we get another mainline set, which is Stellar Crown. Stellar Miracle, which is the Japanese version. We can already see the full card and set list at the moment. So we know exactly what's going to be coming in Stellar Crown, and I really like the look of it. I think Stellar Crown is going to be a really good set. I think it's going to do well long term. I do think that you're going to pick up deals a little bit closer over the next couple of weeks. I think you're going to get some pre-order deals below retail, and Stellar Crown is definitely a set that I'm going to be buying into pre-release, because that's when you're going to get the deals. I think it's going to do very well, and it's coming off the back of Twilight Masquerade, which has done very well as well. This is the set list. We've had a little look at it, but we can now see everything that's coming. This is really what we're looking at, the illustration rares. And obviously the special illustration rares. The most notable cards here that are going to be most desirable, I think, are the Bulbasaur and Squirtle cards, which are just super nice. The Bulbasaur is definitely my favourite card in the set. There's just like a nice homey cozy card, really love it. This card was actually out in Japan for a little while now, and we were waiting for it to come over into English, so I'm really happy that it is. I'm definitely going to pick this up as a single and add that to my binder. I'm probably not going to open up much Stellar Crown, but definitely from an investment point of view, I'm going to buy quite a lot of it sealed, and I'm going to buy into it early as well. Usually I say on the channel, wait until you get out of the reprint window, wait about 2 years until after a set's come out. I'm kind of changing that with all of Scarlet and Violet. We're really getting into like a real golden era of artworks. And you've got to remember as well, although this is like ultra modern to us now, like I've been in the investment Pokemon space for such a long time now, I can appreciate that time just moves by so fast. Like, let me put things into perspective for you. We are already halfway through Scarlet and Violet, okay? We're halfway through 2024 as well. I would expect around about this time next year, we'll be looking at moving into a new era of Pokemon. Okay, Scarlet and Violet will be done, and we'll be going on to the next block. Okay, that is going to come around so quick. 12 months flies by like nothing, and to be honest, things are moving so fast. Like, I really do think we're going to look back, and these sets are going to do very well long term, because the artworks are just insane. Even just all of these other illustration rares, they're just so nice. Like, they're so detailed. Just the premium quality of them is just of a very high standard. And if you can pick up details, if you can pick up deals below retail on this, then why not? I'm quite happy to buy a load of this below retail, put it away for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years even, and make a real nice return on that. We got full art supporters here as well, and some special illustration rare Pokemon as well. So these are going to be your big chase cards. The most notable, I think, is going to be this Terrapagos. If this goes anywhere near the popularity of the Greninja, and it's as hard to pull as the Greninja out of Twilight Masquerade from the previous set, this card is going to be so expensive. And I do think it's a beautiful card. It's very nice. It's probably not my favourite card that's come out recently in Modern, but I do think that if this is hard to pull, this is going to be the big chase on the set, and that's really going to increase the sealed value of it. It just depends how much is available of Stellar Crown when it comes out. Bearing in mind though, if you hold on to it for 2-3 years, it doesn't matter what the stock's going to be like, it's still going to go up in value, or at least there's a very, very strong chance of it. Here's another close-up of the card, and then this is a normal variant as well. This is the one that you'll probably see played a lot more in tournament play, and if this is as strong as I think it's going to be in the play of the actual TCG game, then everyone's going to be wanting this special art rare, and again, that's just going to boost up the demand for it. And if it's a hard to pull card, I'm telling you, it's going to be worth a lot of money this set, even maybe right out the gate. Like, we could see a modern set start to sell out like pretty early on. That would be amazing to see for Scarlet and Violet. We'll just have to wait and see how much is printed of it. And then we've got so much else going on as well. So I want to, talk about the fact that Scarlet and Violet is probably going to come to an end at some point next year. And I wanted to look back at the release date. So it was actually March 2023. I didn't even realise until I looked it up how long ago that was that Scarlet and Violet came out. That's when Scarlet and Violet Base came out. So we're getting to the stage now where Scarlet and Violet Base, the first set in the block, is nearly a year and a half old. And we always say to people, like, wait that 2 years, because once you get to around about 2 years of a set being out, it starts to kind of go out of rotation. You're less likely to get reprints of those sets, and that's when you really start to see a real all the investors start to move in, more money flow into it. And I do think Scarlet and Violet, it's going to catch people off guard, because this 2-year anniversary of Scarlet and Violet is going to come round quick. March next year, that's less than 6 months away. Like, very soon Scarlet and Violet's gonna, like, this time is just gonna whiz by, and very soon Scarlet and Violet is gonna go out of print. And I think some of these earlier Scarlet and Violet sets might not even get another reprint before then. Like, it's definitely something to pay attention to, and we need to start shifting our focus and our mindset as investors that Sword and Shield is the only play for investment. We need to start looking at the fact that in the very near future, Scarlet and Violet is going to rotate out, and all the money is going to start flowing into these early Scarlet and Violet sets. So that's why I'm very sort of bullish, and I'm investing quite heavy into Ultra Modern and Scarlet and Violet, because it's just so cheap now and the sets are so good. If we have a look at Paldea Evolved, so the second set that came out in Scarlet and Violet, and arguably probably the first real good set to come out with Scarlet and Violet, it's almost exactly a year old today. So June 9th 2023 was when it came out in English, so in North America, EU, etc. And it doesn't seem like a year ago, right, that Paldea Evolved came out. You can still pick it up for retail places as well. And bear in mind, Paldea Evolved went through this really weird phase a few months ago where the Magikarp started gaining in price and some of the other cards started gaining in price, and the stock just dried up. People went quite mad for it and started FOMOing into it, and it was really one of the first Scarlet and Violet sets that started to see that increase in price, and that's before it had even been out for a year. So I really do expect that once these sets start rotating out of being in play and we start getting out of that reprint window, sets like Paldea Evolved are going to skyrocket in price. We're going to see a lot of money that's currently in Sword and Shield. People are going to sell off their Sword and Shield, bank a profit, and just throw it into Scarlet and Violet. And people want to catch that next rise up. Everyone's always looking for the next thing to explode, the next investment to go, hey, you can get in early to Scarlet and Violet now. If you're happy to sit on it for a couple of years, put it away, the back of a wardrobe or something like that. Put it away nicely as well. Put it in some storage containers. I think you're going to do very well, and that's why I'm buying into Modern quite a lot at the moment. Stellar Crown. So Stellar Crown, we don't know how much the price is going to be on pre-orders for this. There are pre-orders up on the Pokemon Center, but the Pokemon Center always does things for retail, okay? Just because they can. They're the Pokemon Center. I think in the next couple of weeks we need to keep an eye on this, because where it's getting released in 6 weeks' time, I think we're going to start to see pre-order prices very soon that are below retail. So I'm going to keep an eye on it here. I'm going to let you guys know once I start seeing these going up. But this could be a good buy, especially the booster box as well. I've just loaded up the Elite Trainer box just because it's a little bit more visual for you. But yeah, no prices really have been set below retail by any third-party investors yet, and I expect that to happen once they start getting their allocation numbers coming in very soon over the next couple of weeks. And it's got to happen soon because the set comes out in 6 weeks, so they're going to have to start taking pre-orders soon. Yeah, really interesting. Let's have a look at Pokemon Center UK. Again, no real changes here for the booster boxes, but we still keep an eye on it each week. You can still pick up some Sword and Shield stuff. You can get Battle Styles, Astral Radiance, Brilliant Stars, and Fusion Strike. Battle Styles is a bad investment for retail. Brilliant Stars is a better investment. Astral Radiance is a good investment, and Fusion Strike is the best of the bunch in my opinion. Although Ultra Modern, Twilight Masquerade's been doing very well, and I just want to note that it's getting very hard to pick up Twilight Masquerade anywhere below retail at the moment. It's such a popular set, it's doing really well, it caught people off guard as well, and the fact that you can pick it up for retail on the Pokemon Center, like I said, I don't think you're going to get it much cheaper elsewhere. So Twilight Masquerade is definitely one we need to keep an eye on. Obviously it's going to keep getting reprinted for the next probably year and a half, but we need to keep an eye on Twilight Masquerade. That could be a good play for the future. I've bought a lot of it recently for well below retail, and I'm happy I did, because like I said, you can't get it for retail anymore. This is still criminal. I need to keep pointing this out to you people. You can actually get these for retail on the Pokemon Center US as well. So any of my US watchers that are saying, oh, Pokemon Center UK, you guys have so many deals, you can get Fusion Strike booster boxes for retail. Hey, you guys can pick these up as well. You can pick up sleeve booster packs. I've checked this for you. You can pick them up for retail in the US as well. £4 a pack. This is mega cheap. Okay, if you put these away, I'm a big fan of these. They're so easy to store, they're hard to damage, they're easy to ship, they're just brilliant. They're low cost into buying into them as well. You'll never find this cheaper on eBay to get them. Even if you buy them in big lots, you're still going to pay more than £4 a sleeve booster pack for Fusion Strike, and this is going to look so good soon. Like once Fusion Strike starts going to 300, 400, 500 a box, these will just climb up, 15, 20 sleeve booster pack. We've seen it with other sets. We've seen it with Evolving Skies. Alright, Evolving Skies is an outlier, but we've seen it with other older sets. Go and have a look back, even at other sets that you wouldn't think. Have a look at I don't know, Crimson Invasion. Have a look at Lost Thunder. Have a look at Steam Siege. How much are their sleeve booster packs? I tell you what, they're not retail price. They're not £4. Like, if you put these away for a couple of years, you will be a very happy camper, and it's not a lot of money to outset. Booster bundles as well. I really want to talk about booster bundles, because booster bundles are just insane at the moment. If you can't afford to buy into booster boxes, booster bundles are a great opportunity. Honestly, they're such good value for money. They're small, they're neat. There's no sort of like what I call sort of like bulk that comes with it. There's no dice or damage counters or anything that you actually don't really want if you're holding a mass amount of sealed. They're small, they're compact. It's 6 booster packs, that's it, and they're really good value for money. And I just want to point out that Pokemon Center is selling them below what I would expect them to sell them for. Most retail shops, you can go and pick them up for around about £25, £26. You can buy them on Pokemon Center, even for new sets and on pre-orders, for like $23.94. And you can even buy these in like older sets as well. And they really haven't seen that like massive appreciation in price. And also to point out as well, if there's like holiday sets like Paldean Fates and Pokemon 151, there are no booster boxes. So you have to get them from either like the Elite Trainer boxes or the booster bundles, and the booster bundles become the most effective way to buy them. I'm actually buying quite heavy at the moment into Paldean Fates. I'm buying. Let me try and get the glare off the camera. I'm buying quite a lot of these at the moment just because I'm kind of waiting for Stellar Crown to come out. So I'm sort of biding my time, but I still want to be buying stuff. So for £23, £24, £25, I'm happy to pay up to £25 for a booster bundle. For that price, it really doesn't hurt my wallet. You know, I might buy one a week, or I might, you know, at the end of the month not have much money left over, so I might only buy 3 a month in the first 3 weeks of my paycheck, etc. And I just think they do really well. I really want to talk about Paldean Fates as well and why I'm buying into it. I think Paldean Fates is a really undervalued set at the moment. I think Paldean Fates is a really, really good set. And look, so like cheapest on eBay at the moment is 25. So you can pick that up cheaper from Pokemon Center, which is pretty crazy to me. Look, yeah, 23.94, so about £1 cheaper, and you're getting it from the official source. You can buy up to 25 of them at a time from Pokemon Center UK as well, which is quite a significant amount. And this is the cheapest way at the moment to buy Paldean Fates. I do think it's heavily undervalued as a set. I think we're going to look back at Paldean Fates and think, why didn't we buy more of this? It's really good value. I like the cards in the set. Look, even third-party retailers, they're not selling it for any cheaper than Pokemon Center. Like, this is the not the ceiling price. This is the basement level price. This is the cheapest I think Paldean Fates is ever going to be on the booster pack price and on the booster bundle. So, what was it? Like 25 basically. You get 6 in each. £4.16 a pack. You might be able to get that down to £4 a pack if you buy maybe like a whole case of them, but even at a whole case you're only going to pick them up on average at around about £23 a booster bundle. I've looked and they're selling for that. So, you know, for such a small amount of cost, maybe picking up 1 or 2 a month, this is a good play, I'm telling you. And the Charizard is just absolutely amazing. Let's have a quick look at Paldean Fates before I go off on a massive tangent about booster boxes. Look how many baby shinies there are. Now, I know some of the most recent baby shiny sets don't do great. Most notably, Shining Fates. Shining Fates was massively, massively overprinted into the ground. And really, it wasn't that great of a set. Let's be honest. There weren't those really big chase cards, in my opinion. There were a lot of baby shinies and stuff like that, but it's nowhere near as good as what Paldean Fates is. Just let's have a quick look at the set list. I'll just go through very quickly, and I just want to make a point. Look how many rows of baby shinies we've got. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 rows of baby shinies there. How many in each row? 6 in each row. What's that? 120? That's some bad quick maths. It's probably not. Is that 60? I don't know. Anyway, let's move on because I don't want this to be a half an hour video. I think it's going to be a half an hour video anyway. Let's have a look at full art shinies. You got the Mew. Look at the Mew, it's so good. You got other pulls, it's so good. Illustration rares as well, it's got it all. Full art supports if you're into that kind of thing. And it has 3 of some of the nicest special illustration rares in recent modern, I think. The Mew Bubble, super, super popular card, and so hard to pull as well. You've got the Gardevoir EX, such a nice card as well. And this Charizard, love it or hate it, this is one of my favourite cards of modern, and I think this is going to get a huge increase in price soon. I think once Paldean Fates isn't available anymore, this card is going to rocket up in price. I absolutely love it. It's such a nice card in my opinion. I'd love to buy one, but it's just too expensive for me at the moment. It's not going to get any cheaper either. I just can't justify buying one personally. I'm not a huge singles guy. I'm getting a little bit more into singles, but I'm not paying 150, 160 for a Charizard single. I'm just not doing it. Let's have a look at booster boxes then. So we've already looked at the UK one. Let's have a quick look at the US. It's important to look at each other's ones, whether you're in the UK or the US. It's important to pay attention to the other market as well, because they can help shape trends and help you understand your own market and where trends are going, because sometimes stuff's out of stock on the US and you'll see a price rise, and that can predict what's going to happen in EU and UK next, and vice versa. So let's have a quick look at the American markets. Silver Tempest still available, but the only Sword and Shield booster box available. You guys really don't have many booster boxes available, but again, this is looking more and more like a play. If you can pick up Twilight Masquerade for below retail at the moment, I'm telling you, it's not a bad play. But me personally, I'd save my money. I'd buy into Stellar Crown or pick up some Paldean Fates. Like I said, I think that you're not going to regret buying Paldean Fates at the moment. I'm not buying a huge amount of it. I mean, I say I'm buying heavy into it. When I say I'm buying heavy into it, I just mean like I'm buying it regularly, but I'm only buying like 1 or 2 booster bundles at a time. So really, if you compare that to a mainline set where I'm buying like booster boxes, you know, it's probably not buying that heavy into it. I'm kind of saving my money. So we've got Stellar Crown, obviously, that's coming out. We got Shrouded Fable. We barely even talked about Shrouded Fable. So Shrouded Fable is out in like 2 weeks. I would not recommend you buy into it. I don't think it's a great set. There are a couple of nice cards in it. There are rumours though that the US are going to be short printed on Shrouded Fable, so it might not be available for very long on release, so that is something to bear in mind, and it can affect prices. But me personally, I'd rather buy into Paldean Fates, pick up a couple of booster bundles, or hey, get yourself like some old Sword and Shield booster boxes like your Fusion Strike if you're in the UK. Okay, let's get into booster boxes. This chart, when I first loaded it up this morning, alarmed me. I was like, oh my god, what's happened to Evolving Skies? And then you're seeing like 2 sales here for $500. I don't know what's going on with TCG Player, but when I've done my research, this is not true. Okay, like there's nothing to worry about. Evolving Skies has actually had a pretty flat week. In the UK, the cheapest you can buy it now is $187, including postage, for one with nice photos, which is about the same. 187. What am I talking about? 587, which is about the same as it was last week, and they're selling for that price as well, 585. That's a pretty healthy price for Evolving Skies. It's healthy in the respect that it's remained stable for over a month now, that kind of price range, and it's good for both parties. Okay, if you bought into Evolving Skies cheap and you want to take profit now, I think 600 quid is a decent, you know, place to sell it. But equally, if you want to invest for the long haul, I think 600 quid is a decent price point to buy in at as well. It's not too late, and I do think there's more room for it to grow, particularly when you look at some of the other sets towards the end of Sun and Moon. You're really starting to see those creep up in price, and it really shows what good sets can do. You know, you're seeing well over 1,000 pounds and dollars for some of the better sets of Sun and Moon. So I can definitely see a world where Evolving Skies gets to that kind of price point in the future. So I think that's a nice stable price for Evolving Skies. For my US viewers, again, nothing to worry about. Last 2 sales that I could find were 670 and 650. So again, really stable. Don't know what's going on with TCG Player charts at the moment. They seem to just be getting less and less reliable, to be honest. Fusion Strike, it looks like it's had a little bit of a price jump. But again, if we just stabilize this out over the last 3 months, we talk about this every kind of week on the channel as we keep an eye on it. When we zoom out onto a longer time horizon, you can see really it's just finding its feet, and it's kind of just flatlining and stabilizing in price after the big jump of it going out of stock at the start of the year on Pokemon Center US. Like I said, it's probably one of the best buys you can buy at the moment in the UK if you're going to buy it for retail off the Pokemon Center for £146. Cheapest on eBay is £160, so there's a bit of retail arbitrage straight away, and it just goes to show that as soon as it goes out of stock on Pokemon Center, this is going to be the new price. It's going to be 160, and I tell you what, these 160s aren't going to stay 160 for long once it goes out of stock. All of these will get instantly bought out, and we're just going to start jumping. Like, all of these will sell out, and we're just going to jump to around about 200 a box, I reckon. Look, yeah, you only have to go down 10-12 listings and we're already at 200 a box. So yeah, those will sell out pretty quick once it goes out of stock. That's probably my best play I would recommend for UK people at the moment, unless you want to go into ultra modern. And I don't understand what's going on at the moment with eBay sales. Look, people are actually buying them for 170. Yeah, not many of them are selling because you can pick them up for 146 on Pokemon Center. Maybe these are people that don't realize you can still pick them up for retail. But look, they actually are selling for 170, 174. Just a bit crazy, you know. So this person isn't even including it with a case like that guy. So this person probably just bought it straight from Pokemon Center for 140 and just flipped it for 174. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend you do that because the sales volume is just going to be so low, and you're going to be competing with so many people at that price point. But I do think that if you buy it for retail, you know, you can justifiably sell it for that price pretty soon after it goes out of stock. Probably even more. Let's move on. Astral Radiance, again, their graph is a little bit broken. 172 last sale. This is accurate though. I think it's sort of climbing a couple of bucks each week from what I can remember of its price point from last week. You can still pick it up for retail in the UK. Cheapest you can get on eBay is 130, so a little bit cheaper. Someone's obviously selling a whole batch of them at the moment. Yeah, 130 below retail on a Sword and Shield decent set. Not a bad play. If you can't afford that, you can still buy into the half booster box here in the EU for pretty cheap, 62.99. Again, basically the same price as the booster box, but the half variant containing 18 packs. I really do think they should bring these out in the US. I think that they would do really well. Let's move on. Lost Origin has had a pretty stable week. Again, we're sort of finding our feet around about the $200 range. Price is a bit all over the place, $184, $200. Finding its feet again after going out of stock around about here. Here's where it went out of stock. Lost Origin around about the March-April time. We saw a big increase in price, and I said at this point on the videos I thought that it was overinflated and people are sort of buying into it and FOMOing into it a little bit too much, and we're seeing that price correction down. And then we highlighted around about this point as well that I think this is around about the basement price and we're not going to get any cheaper. And that seems to be the case because we've effectively price corrected up a little bit, and now we're starting to see a nice stable week, which is quite promising for Lost Origin. Lost Origin is one of the few late Sword and Shield sets that has been out of stock in the UK and on the Pokemon Center, which is a really positive sign actually. You know, you can see it here, the cheapest one with photos for 205, and this can really sort of show what's going to happen with the other sets like Astral Radiance and Fusion Strike. Once they do go out of stock in the UK, I would expect them to jump to around about this £200 range as well. Do I think £200 is a little bit too much in the UK at the moment for a Lost Origin booster box? Yes. Are you ever going to pick it up any cheaper than that? Maybe you might save £10 here and there, but me personally, I wouldn't buy in at that price. I would much rather buy a Fusion Strike booster box for 140, or do what I'm doing and just buy some Ultra Modern for even cheaper. You know, pick up some booster boxes for 120, or buy into some Paldean Fates. You know, I'm going to say it again. I love these little booster bundles, and the reason why is it's just so cheap. It doesn't feel like I'm buying anything. I think a lot of investing as well is about like your mindset and your mentality. Everyone has different budgets and different price ranges, and to me it still hurts my wallet a little bit, and it's very noticeable when I buy a booster box in a month or I buy a couple of booster boxes. Like, I definitely notice my bank account coming down a little bit, and it makes me a little bit more frugal with my money, and it means that I sort of buy less luxuries outside. Sort of like I eat out less, you know, I might, you know, buy less alcohol, etc., because I've psychologically spent that money on entertainment for the month in my head in investing. Whereas if I buy a booster bundle, you know, to me it's not really like I've spent any money. You know, one or two a month isn't gonna isn't going to feel like anything to me. And it also puts me in the mindset as well that when sets like Stellar Crown come out, I can say in my head, I can sort of justify it. It's like, oh, I can buy a couple of booster boxes of that because I haven't bought a booster box in a while. I've only been buying little booster bundles. It's just what works for me. Everyone has your own different budgeting. Just want to shed some light on sort of how I approach Pokemon investing, as it might help you. I also like to think to myself as well that if I was considering buying takeout on food, it's about the same price as a booster bundle. So sometimes I'll have in my head, like when I'm working, that I'm going to buy takeout at the end of the day, and then I'll change my mind. And to me, in my head, I've already spent that money on takeout, so then it can justify me buying a booster bundle. It's just how I do it. I don't know. How do you guys justify it? I'd love to hear down below actually what your guys sort of average budget is for investing in Pokemon, because it's different for everyone. And don't be embarrassed, because when I first got into it, I definitely would spend many months where I wouldn't buy anything, and then I would have 1 month where I would like buy a booster box. So I would sort of save up in my head towards that. And now I'm sort of buying sealed a lot more regularly, but I'm many years into it and I'm getting older now and have a little bit more of the financial resources to do so. But I'd love to hear from you guys, you know, how much you guys are putting in to sealed product at the moment. That'd be really interesting for me to know. And I'm sure other viewers of the channel would be interested to scroll through the comments and see how much other people are sort of budgeting in their head, and average it out as well. You know, if you're just buying say one booster box every 6 months, average that out. So take a booster box price, divide that by 6. I'd love to hear that. So Brilliant Stars again, similar to Fusion Strike, it went out of stock. We saw this big price climb from retail up to around about 200 a box. I just want to point out that I think very soon in both the UK and the US, we are going to get to a point where you cannot pick up a single booster box, even the worst sets, even battle styles. I don't think you'll be able to pick up a booster box of Sword and Shield for below £200 or say $230. And I think we're going to reach that point pretty soon. I think by the end of the year we're going to reach that point. I'm making a call out now. I'm saying Christmas time, maybe battle styles will be cheaper. Okay, that's a stupid prediction. Maybe battle styles will always be no, it won't always be under 200 a box, but here's my prediction. Okay, almost all of the Sword and Shield boxes will be £200 or $230 at Christmas time. There's my price prediction for you, and some of them will be much higher. Right, so Brilliant Stars, sorry, price stabilization after a sellout on Pokemon Center. This is positive. Went up, it's stable now around about $180. That's what I would expect. So what we had is we had a $40 jump up, then a $20 price correction. I would expect to see maybe a little bit more wavering, but basically like a stabilization, and then over the next couple of months, you know, that slow price gain up to around about the Christmas period that I'm talking about. And I would expect Brilliant Stars to be around about $220, $230 at around about Christmas time. It just depends here in the UK. It really just depends on stock levels for Pokemon Center. Like, these Sword and Shield sets will not stay in stock for long. Like, I keep saying it every week, and each week I'm surprised that these are still in stock. Like, I don't know how many they have available at Pokemon Center UK, but I am shocked every week that you can still pick up Fusion Strike. Fusion Strike is a crazy play at retail. Look, cheapest on eBay with photos, $180. Actually $186 if you include postage. You can still pick this up for retail. Absolute madness. And I don't know what's going on with people. Right, I understand this one. $150 last sold here in the UK. What is this, guys? Who bought this? Who's selling this as well? Who paid $200 for a Brilliant Stars booster box? Like, I don't understand. Like, what am I missing here? Is there something else thrown into this deal that's just not included in the title? I don't know what's going on. I don't know who paid $200 for a Brilliant Stars booster box when it's basically available everywhere for retail. It's even available on eBay for retail. Like, I don't understand this. But I wanted to point that out. Silver Tempest. So the last Sword and Shield. It's the last hurrah for the US customers. basically sat at retail price here, and yeah, as soon as that goes out of stock, I would expect this to go sort of rocket up. I think it's going to FOMO to $200 a box, and then you're going to see, just like with Brilliant Stars, a price correction back down to around about $180. I mean, they're selling now for what, 170? So like, maybe if it goes out of stock, it'll go even higher. Then maybe it will. It will settle at around about the 190 mark. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. It'd be really interesting to see, because where it's the last one available in the US for Sword and Shield, I really do want to see what happens to that, because that should give us a good benchmark for what's going to happen over here in the UK. Cheapest you can pick them up in the UK is obviously around about retail price. You can get it a few pounds cheaper than the Pokemon Center over here on eBay, and you can obviously see the nice photos of it, which you can't do on Pokemon Center UK. Chilling Reign, let's talk about Chilling Reign. Price actually looks pretty stable. I know it's like drops off on the chart here. Let's just zoom out a bit. Look, we're really just stable again after it going out of stock. $2.15 a box on average. One sold there for like 178. I don't know if that's just an outlier sale or not, but things look pretty stable to me on Chilling Reign, and the same in the UK. I mean, 2 for 410. So what's that? 205 a box each. Sorry, in the US, $205 a box. Yeah, a pretty stable week for Chilling Reign. I did notice your guys' Chilling Reign Elite Trainer boxes are creeping up in price. That hasn't happened yet in the UK. But yeah, interesting, very interesting. Chilling Reign here in the UK, 174, but then you have to add postage. So cheapest is like what, 186.75. Again, this was available for retail like a couple of months ago. I pointed it out to you guys. That was a great play. It didn't last for long. It was just a random little tiny restock, and a lot of people made a lot of money out of that on the channel. This is now the norm, around about 180. Like I said, 180, 200 a box by Christmas time for most Sword and Shield. This is where I expect everything to go for around about Christmas time. But we're going to keep an eye on everything. Last solds on Chilling Reign as well. Yeah, don't know what's going on here. Again, 250 for one? What's going on, guys? What am I missing here? Who paid 250 for a Chilling Reign booster box? Look, someone paid 300 for one. Like, not that long ago either. What, 8 days ago? 6 days ago? Like, I can kind of understand around about the 180, 200. Like this one, best offer accepted, 175. But then on the same day, someone paid 214 for one, 250 for one on the same day. Like, prices are all just a bit all over the place at the moment. Like, it seems to me like we're starting to get to a place where there's like more demand for like late series Sword and Shield than there is supply. And like I said, as soon as they all start going out of stock on Pokemon Center UK, it's no holds barred. Everything's just going to start jumping up in price. And I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to tracking that on the channel. It's not too late. You can buy into Sword and Shield still. I do think it's going to do very well. We got to talk about the meme box, okay? I do not recommend this. I do not recommend buying Darkness Ablaze by any stretch on this channel. It's becoming a bit of a joke each week that we're tracking the price of it. I'm buying into Darkness Ablaze so that you don't have to. I'm making a point with Darkness Ablaze that you can effectively buy some of the least popular sets and still make money over time. Please don't buy into Darkness Ablaze, especially if you're new to the channel or like new to sealed investing. This is not a good recommendation, okay? This is a highly risky speculative play to buy Darkness Ablaze. It's a very unpopular set. The main chase card is not worth a lot of money, and there's like no demand for Darkness Ablaze. No one wants Darkness Ablaze, so do not buy into it. But I'm buying into it just to prove a point to some people. Like, but it's super risky. Even though I'm making crazy gains on it at the moment, it is so risky. So don't buy into it. That's my warning to you. But let me buy into it, and we'll just track it for fun to show you how much I'm making, but I'm taking all the risk. There is so much risk in buying into Darkness Ablaze. There's much safer bets. Like I said, buy yourself a Fusion Strike or something like that. You're safe with that. I'm almost certain that's going to make you money. Darkness Ablaze is all over the place. Cheapest with photos on the UK at the moment is 158, but it's from the US, so it's like £46 postage, so we're going to ignore that one. So cheapest actually in the UK is now at 200 a box. Guys, what's going on with Darkness Ablaze? I was pointing this out to you guys weeks ago, and I was telling you I was buying into Darkness Ablaze, and you were all tearing me apart in the comments saying that I would never make money on it. It's the worst set. Look at this. Cheapest one is 205. Okay, next cheapest one. eBay's even pointing it out as a great price. Look, it's highlighting it. It's a great price at 230. What's going on? Okay, in the last 6 weeks, Darkness Ablaze has gone up nearly 100. Oh my gosh. And they're selling. They're not selling much, but they are selling. Look, someone sold one yesterday for 180. Bear in mind, 6 weeks ago we could pick these up for 120. Like below retail, and I said to you guys, look, it's out of print, it's a very old Sword and Shield set, it's got a Charizard chase card, like all of those line up for it, but please don't buy into Darkness Ablaze, okay? Like high risk, high reward, but everyone hates Darkness Ablaze. And I need to point out as well, don't buy these. There are thousands of these Elite Trainer boxes that people have put away that are sealed. I bought into them, so they crept up in price around about a year ago, and I bought a load of them for £50 each. This is one of the worst investments I've ever made. And about a week later, they reprinted these ETBs. And there are so many of these Darkness Ablaze ETBs around. That's why they're selling for way below retail at the moment. $35.95. Like, do not buy this. There's so many of them. There will always be Darkness Ablaze Elite Trainer boxes. I ended up selling all of mine off for a loss. I didn't want to hold them anymore. They were taking up too much space. The sight of them was making me sick. I took a massive L on them. It's one of the worst investments I ever made, buying into Darkness Ablaze Elite Trainer boxes. Anyway, that's why it's a bit of a joke on this channel. 180 last sale, okay? So I was buying in at like 120, 130. I probably averaged in, let's just say 130 for the sake of it. So 180 to 130 in the last 6 weeks. So that's a $50 raise. So 50 divided by 50 divided by 130 times 100. So I've made a 38.46% gain on my Darkness Ablaze in the last 6 weeks. And do you know what? I think some of the other main Pokemon investment channels have been watching my channel, because I was watching a live stream the other day. I won't say who of, but they were making a little bit of a joke about Darkness Ablaze and about people calling it out as a good investment. And I feel like they were talking about me, so I'm glad my meme is reaching a wider audience, especially in the over in the US and in the investment space. But yeah, like I said, I cannot stress enough, do not buy into Darkness Ablaze. You're more than likely not going to do well out of it, especially if you're buying it for 180. Do not buy it for 180. Definitely not. Buy into other stuff. We got exciting sets coming out. You can still buy into Paldean Fates for retail. I think Stellar Crown, you're going to be able to pick it up below retail from third parties over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to keep an eye on that for you guys. Yeah, hope you guys had a wonderful day. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure you subscribe down below, particularly if you're new to the channel. I will track all of the prices for you so that you don't have to. And soon we're going to have to start tracking Scarlet Violet as well, because I think that's going to start moving soon as well. Anyway, hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.